Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video I want to talk about my experiences with the university in Australia, talk about my student life and also compare the university in Australia to the university in Germany and my experiences there, and tell you what's different, what's the same, which one is better, and be excited, so let's start. I studied abroad for 1 semester at the University of Sydney and it was an awesome time. The University of Sydney is one of the best universities in the world, and I can really tell. I really liked the campus, it was so amazing. The highlight was definitely the Great Hall and the quadrangle. It really looked like Hogwarts and it really had this awesome vibe. A lot of the buildings there were like old-fashioned or something, but they were still really great. They really had this awesome vibe. But there were also a lot of modern buildings like the Fisher Library. The Fisher Library was also really great. You can like study there and also chill there. It's pretty amazing, but also like the law building is something. It really had a great architecture and the campus was also pretty big. There were also areas where you can just chill, like parks and lawns. This was really great and I had an awesome experience there. In Australia I had film classes, so I also did some practical work, but the classes were alright. It was not too different from classes I had in Germany. It was like a mix of lectures and some seminars or tutorials, so this was also great. So it was really similar from what I learn or what I do, like the things I do in Germany, but it was a little bit more practical work. An important thing I have to tell you is that the USU is really important. If you sign up there, you can get a lot of free stuff. You can get like free food, especially in the beginning, like the Welcome Fest, the Welcome Week. There are like food trucks where you can get free dinner, free lunch, free breakfast. And it was really great. There were like hot dogs, pancakes and everything you could imagine. It was pretty awesome. And there's also a really nice thing, it's called the Food Hub. There you can sign up for and then you can get free stuff like bread or other groceries, and it's really great and really helps you with everything. So it was also a really awesome thing. So sign up for the USU, it's really important, and I think it's so great that this is also part of the University of Sydney. Another important thing about the student life at the University of Sydney are clubs and societies. This was especially important at the beginning at the Welcome Fest, where all the clubs and societies were there and you can look around what is interesting, and then you could sign up for the clubs and societies and decide which thing you want to do. And there are like clubs and societies for everything. There are a lot of sports like archery or like media and communication, influencing, but also like chess, almost everything you can imagine, also like food. This was really great. So there are clubs and societies for everyone to make your student life even better. My experience with clubs and societies, where I sign up for some of them, and I really like the marketing and influencer society, because there we really had meetings a couple of times during the semester. Not too often, unfortunately, but especially in marketing we also had like seminars or presentations about networking, about LinkedIn, about Adobe. This was pretty fun, so you could also learn something for yourself, not only in university but also in these clubs and societies. And the influencer society was also pretty amazing to just meet people, and you get like free food all the time when you have meetings with your society. So check out clubs and societies. You can join as many as you want. It's for free, and then you can decide if you like it or if you don't like it. So there's really everything for everybody. So this is also great. It makes your student life even better, and I really liked the clubs and societies. A very big part of my student life and my experiences at the University of Sydney was also my student accommodation, where I stayed. It was the Queen Mary building. It's close to the campus, so this was really amazing. And I would say this was also a highlight of my time there, because at the QMB, as it is called, I met a lot of people. I met most of my friends, and this is like the most important part for me from the whole experience, and this is just really awesome. The building itself was also pretty good. I made a video about this where I show you around. You can check it out. I make a little tour, so if you're interested in the Queen Mary building and you're also looking to stay there, or yeah, you haven't decided yet, watch my video about this, but I can really recommend this. Like, of course, there are also negative things, so a lot of things there are also not working very well, but the community is just great and you get like the best student experience you can get when you study abroad. It's like the best for international students because there are a lot of international students, but it's also great for like Australians, I guess. It was an amazing time. An absolute highlight in the building was, of course, the rooftop. You can just lay there in the sun and you have the best view of Sydney, of the Sydney skyline. This was also amazing, and we also had a kitchen up there. Most of people cook downstairs, but there was also a kitchen, which I think is better because you have the skyline and it's more calm and chilled there. Another highlight was the Sky Lounge, or like there were 2 Sky Lounges on the 11th floor. There you can just chill inside, but when the weather is good you can also go outside to a balcony, and this was pretty amazing, and we did a lot of parties and had fun there. Another common area is downstairs. It was called LG, it was the basement, so this was also an area where we always did a party or we were just hanging around, and you can meet a lot of people there. It's really great for socializing, and also the Queen Mary building had a gym included, which was also great. It wasn't the best gym, but it was included, so this was also good for like your daily or weekly or whatever workouts. Another important thing about the Queen Mary building is you have your own room, everything for yourself, but you have to share the bathroom. But there are like 2 bathrooms on every floor, or like there is like on every floor there are 2 different floors, like the green side and the orange side. There's a common area in the middle, and then you have on every side you have a bathroom for everything, and I think it worked pretty well. And yeah, in your room you have like time to study or whatever. Yeah, this is also pretty great. The Queen Mary building is like the best student accommodation, I would say, and was a big part of my great experience at the University of Sydney. The University of Sydney as a whole experience for an international student was just really amazing, and yeah, I would love to do it again. Now I have to talk about the biggest problem of the University of Sydney, or like university in Australia in general, but not just in Australia, also in America or the UK, for example, because it's really expensive to study in Australia. The tuition is about 20,000 to 40,000 Australian dollars per semester, and I would say for like a normal student it is really much. It's really expensive, and you can see that it's expensive because otherwise the campus might not just be that great. You can see where the money is, but I would still say it's really expensive, and this is like also the biggest difference to studying in Germany. Now I want to talk about studying in Germany, and the biggest difference is it doesn't cost that much. It's not so expensive like studying in Australia or the US or whatever, but in Germany I just pay like a little amount of money per semester. It's about 300 to 400 euros right now, and there even is the train ticket included. So actually you just pay for the ticket and don't really pay for studying here, and this is really a difference. This is really better in Germany or also other places in Europe because everyone has the chance to study. But this is also not completely true. You have to have a high school degree. It's called Abitur in Germany, and you have to get a decent grade, or you can't study every field of study you want, because for one you need a higher grade like medicine. It's almost impossible to study for a normal person there. If your degree is not high enough, you have to wait, or it's like not possible. This is not a problem in Australia because you can study almost everything, but it's much more expensive. Because in Germany it's almost free, you also have time to like experience and to try stuff, and it's not that bad if it doesn't work, so you can just switch the subject or the classes and everything. It doesn't get too much into the money, so it has a lot of advantages that it's like not too expensive like in Australia. So this is like the biggest difference, and the part where I would say the system there is much better in Germany. But this also is just for state universities. Like when you go to a private university, you also have to pay a lot. I studied media studies at the University of Cologne. Now I'm graduated, but I still want to talk a little bit about my experience in Cologne. The campus was not so great. It was nothing in comparison to the University of Sydney, but it also wasn't too bad. All of the buildings were old-fashioned and there's always something under constructions, and sometimes it's also leaking through the ceiling. It just happens. And I was in really old lecture halls and something. I don't know, they really seem from a different age, but not in a good way. But you don't pay so much for the university, so this is maybe a reason why it looks like this. I still had a great experience at the University of Cologne. There are also really great areas on the campus, like the uni lawn. This is like the place outside, and it's really great in summer because you can just hang around there with your friends, you can just chill there, and it looks pretty great, and this is like really a great place to hang around. There are also some nice yards and other places with like water places. Also the location is pretty great. It's in the middle of Cologne. You can go really fast to the city center, and yeah, also really like this. And yeah, I would say the classes, like in my field of studies, media studies, were great. The professors were great, and overall it worked pretty well, everything. I still had a really great experiences. There are like bad things about this, like the campus is not too great, but good things, the class and professors are great, and you don't have to pay too much. The best thing about the University of Cologne for me, of course, was they made it possible for me to go to Australia to study abroad at the University of Sydney. Because my university has a partnership with the University of Sydney, I could apply for the study abroad program within the international office, so I didn't have to pay any tuition. So it was almost free for me. I just had to pay for accommodation and groceries and everything, but I didn't have to pay for study, tuition and everything. So this is really great because of this partnership, and I'm really thankful that my university, the University of Cologne, made this possible. So also this was a great experience. If I have to compare both universities, the University of Sydney and the University of Cologne, of course the USyd is better because like the student life is better. You have these clubs and societies. You don't really have this too much in Cologne, but there are also sports programs and everything. And I like the campus more with the Hogwarts quadrangle and Great Hall and all the opportunities there, and of course my student life. And the classes were really similar also in Cologne, and the best thing about the University of Cologne is like it's more affordable, and there are also like great classes, great professors, and also great places at the university. And yeah, I had an awesome experience at the University of Sydney. I'm really thankful for this experience, and this is what I wanted to share with you. Hopefully you saw all my videos about my experience there, and I was able to explore Sydney and other places of Australia, and I will definitely be back to Australia at some point. And yeah, it was such a great time there. I hope you liked my video about my study experiences in Germany and Australia, and yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers!